Good morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Looking to just do, a couple of very simple talking heads in the morning. Nothing fancy, kind of really just following the same format I've been doing, where as long as I talk for 5 to 10 minutes a day. So I've been looking a bit more at bounce and diffusion and the combination of two. Right now, we're actually using both. We're bouncing the light and diffusing the light. And I realized, I was wondering that, because it does matter. I was like, why not just bounce the light? Because bouncing actually is it doesn't take up as much space, if that makes sense. Well, not always, but you can typically shine a light at a wall, and every wall is white. So technically you can bounce it, and the light you can put the light down here, bounces at the wall, and then it bounces back to the subject and diffuses it. And that works, but what I didn't realize is how many stops of light that you lose by doing that versus diffusion. You lose roughly 3 stops of light. So, okay, for instance, if I were to shine a light directly at me, let's just take this light in general, take it out, non-diffusion. If I were to shine it right at me, it's going to be bright, right? That's how that would look. It's a hard light hitting me. But if I were to reverse it, let's just do this real quick, and shine it, let's pull this over here, and shine it at the wall, and then it bounces back to me, I'm actually losing 3 stops of that original hard light that would have been hitting me. Now, the other thing that you can do with the light, so if you have a light here and then you say put a piece of diffusion over it and point it directly at the subject, me, you're only actually losing 1 stop of light, roughly, depending on how far it is from you. 1 stop of light versus it died. I have another one. We'll just use that one. 1 stop of light versus what that hard light would be, which is actually matters a lot when you're working with a limited amount of lights. Now, the second or third thing that you could do to get the best, lightest light, but it also means the most amount of drop off of those stops of light. You're losing light as you're making the light prettier, if this makes sense. Okay, so this is where I'm sitting, or where I was just sitting, and this is what's being used to supply that light. What's happening is we have 2 hard source lights that are bouncing. This is just a 5-in-1, the thing that comes with the 5-in-1, and they're attached to boom poles clipped up. That's bouncing. That's already creating pretty good light. But from the bounce of here, we're losing about 3 stops of light already. That's then going through this second layer, which is diffusion, which then comes over here to my seat. I hope that makes sense. But you can see it if you look closely at like my cheeks or my eyes, the difference. What I'm going to do very quickly, like very, very quickly, it's just the end of the video, is to show you what all of that would look like with, I'm not going to show you hard light. Well, whatever. I'll show you hard light hitting me. Then I'll show you the bounce, and then I'll show you with both. And you can kind of make your own judgment call. Same shot, I'll probably just adjust the ISO so it's not blown out. Hard light, as you can see, very, very hard. Look at my nose. And we, of course, could stop this down too. But yeah, you can see how hard that is. Now we're going to go ahead and bounce it. So not bad. If you look, you can kind of see. This would still work. This would be just fine for me, in my mind. And then this is with diffusion. Notice that for the hard light, I had to pull us down to ISO 100. For the bounce, I pulled us up to ISO 200. And then for this right here, I pulled us up to ISO 400. So that's pretty much the whole point, which makes sense about everything that I said in the beginning about the amount of light loss. So we pretty much lost 4 stops of light when we did this whole thing. The only thing that I didn't do was light straight through the diffusion. I'm not going to get back up and do that, but that would have looked just fine too. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.